If you live in an apartment complex, don't look outside your window at 3 a.m. And whatever you do, don't step into the hallway. I wish someone had told me that before I moved here. Because once you see what I've seen, you can't unsee it. Once you hear them, you'll never sleep through the night again. And if you ever make the mistake I did, opening the door, you'll never feel safe in your own home. I know it sounds like an urban legend. Just another creepy story meant to scare new tenants. I thought the same thing at first, but here's the truth. The people who warn you not to open your door at 3 a.m. aren't superstitious. They're survivors. The rest of us either vanish, quietly, or worse, we stay, but we're no longer the same. The rule is simple. At 3 a.m., the neighbors you think you know aren't your neighbors anymore. They walk the halls, they linger outside your door. Sometimes they even knock, soft and polite, like they're waiting to be let in. If you look through the peephole, you'll see them smiling, wide and wrong. I told myself it was nothing. Just thin walls, creaky pipes, overactive imagination. But curiosity is a poison, and it only takes one moment of weakness to ruin your life. I broke the rule. I opened the door, and now I can't tell if I'm still me or if I'm just another. One of them standing outside someone else's door, waiting for the clock to strike 3. So if you're listening to this right now, take my advice. When the hour comes, lock your door, cover your ears, and whatever you do, don't look outside. By day, the building felt harmless enough. The kind of place you'd forget the moment you walked past it. A faded beige complex with squeaky gates and an elevator that groaned like it hated its job. My neighbors weren't much different. Mrs. Halpern downstairs always burned toast at sunrise, filling the halls with smoke alarms and curses. The guy across from me played late-night video games so loudly I could practically level up with him through the paper-thin walls. The pipes rattled like skeleton bones whenever someone showered, and the landlord swore the sound was normal. Quirks like that almost made the place feel alive. It was ordinary, predictable, the kind of routine that settles into your bones and makes you stop questioning things. And maybe that's why I ignored the unease, because in daylight the building wasn't scary. It was just home. The first time I noticed it, I thought it was nothing, just the building settling, or maybe one of my neighbors stumbling home drunk. But the sound was off. A low, dragging scrape that seemed to stretch down the hallway, followed by 3 soft knocks. Measured, deliberate, like someone counting time. I checked the clock. 3:07 a.m. The next night it happened again. Not the same pattern, but the same time. This time I swore I heard whispers underneath it. Too muffled to make out words, but close enough that I pressed my pillow over my ears. I tried to laugh it off. Old buildings make noise. Neighbors talk. Maybe I was just noticing things, because I couldn't sleep. But as the days went by, the noises became sharper, harder to dismiss. Footsteps stopping right outside my door, knuckles brushing the wood like someone testing its strength. One night, I woke to the sound of breathing. Not mine. Slow, steady. Inhales, inches from the other side of the door. My chest froze. I wanted to believe I was imagining it, but then I heard it, my name. Whispered in a voice that didn't belong to anyone I knew. That was the night I realized the noises weren't just background. They were waiting for me. And against all reason, I wanted to know who or what was out there. By morning, everything was back to normal. The hallway smelled faintly of burnt toast. Mr. Gomez carried his grocery bags like nothing had happened, and Mrs. Halpern was yelling at her cat from her balcony. No jerking movements, no hollow stares, just neighbors. I almost convinced myself I'd dreamed it until I found the note. It was slipped under my door, folded neatly, written in blocky letters that pressed too hard into the paper. Come outside tonight. 3 a.m. We'll be waiting. I stared at it for hours, trying to decide if it was a sick prank or something worse. No one mentioned it. No strange looks, no conspiratorial smiles, just routine. But every time I tried to throw the note away, my hand froze. Because deep down, I knew it wasn't a joke. They wanted me there. At 3 a.m., my hands shook as I turned the lock. Every nerve screamed, "Don't do it," but the note's words wouldn't leave my head. I cracked the door just wide enough to peek out. The hallway was lined with them. My neighbors, silent, perfectly still, caught mid-gesture. One held a broom mid-sweep, another balanced grocery bags that didn't sway, frozen in impossible stillness. I blinked. They shifted. Not a lot, just inches. The bags now dangled lower, the broom angled closer to my door. My throat tightened. I blinked again, closer. All of them. Heads tilting, smiles stretching. Their eyes didn't shine like human eyes. They swallowed the light. I realized then. They only moved when I wasn't watching, and I couldn't keep my eyes open forever. Don't know when they surrounded me. Only that one moment I was staring into the frozen mask of Mr. Gomez, and the next, they were all whispering at once. Not words at first, just static, like a broken radio. But then I understood. They weren't my neighbors. They never had been. They were something else. Borrowing shapes, wearing faces like clothes. They spoke of thresholds, of doors that weren't doors, of watchers who lived between walls. They told me every building has them. Every hallway hides them. And the only rule was simple. Don't look, don't open, don't step outside. I tried to cover my ears, but the whispers slipped inside anyway. And worst of all, some part of me believed them. After that night, nothing felt normal again. By daylight, the neighbors looked ordinary, but when they passed me in the stairwell, their smiles lingered a beat too long. Their eyes locked on mine until I had to look away. Once, Mrs. Halpern brushed past me and whispered my name. Soft, deliberate, like a secret we shared. I stopped sleeping. Every night the scratching began. Gentle at first, like nails testing the wood, then bolder, hungrier. Sometimes the knob rattled. I shoved furniture against the door, but it didn't matter. They knew I was inside. And they were waiting. Desperation made me reckless. I set up my phone, pointed straight at the door, and hit record. At 3 a.m., the scratching began. Then the door frame shuddered, as if the wood itself was breathing. Through the camera, I watched their faces peel open, jaws splitting too wide, bodies twisting until their shadows detached and moved on their own. I wanted proof, evidence. But when I checked the footage, my blood froze. The screen flickered, warped. Then, there I was, standing outside my own door, smiling, waiting, and the recording didn't end. It's still playing. If you live in an apartment, listen carefully. When the clock hits 3 a.m., don't look outside your window. Don't check the peephole. And whatever you do, don't answer if you hear knocking. It isn't your neighbor. I thought I was strong enough to resist. I thought curiosity wouldn't kill me. I was wrong. Now I don't know if I'm warning you, or if I'm luring you, because once they choose you, it's already too late. So pray your neighbors never slip you a note. Pray they never whisper your name. And above all, don't open the door.